is like, if you look at COVID, what's really interesting about the COVID pandemic is that who were the first people to rush in and say, hey, we got this,
Yep.
right? It was big tech,
Yep.
and what's interesting about we did the film in 2018 and it had its run through 2019. And of course, we went into 2020 and then we had the pandemic. And what's interesting is at that time during the pandemic, again, being in New York City at the time, we were locked down, right? We couldn't go up, we couldn't do anything. I mean, you might be able to go outside, but you couldn't go to restaurants, you couldn't see your friends, you couldn't work. There was nothing you could do. And so the entirety of our life and our ability to live became reliant on big tech. I mean, we're on Zoom right now, right? We all had to get Zoom. We all
Yep.
had to get broadband. We all had to go all these things that we used before, but they weren't particularly enabled to the ability they are now.
Right.
And so between the fact that you had, Google stepping in saying, hey, government, we got you. We're going to do contract tracing. We're going to make this app that does a thing and blah, 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 blah. Right. And the government being like, yeah, that's great because we don't know what we're doing,
Right.
And then on top of the fact, I mean, look, there were benefits. Like clearly the internet is 1,000 times better. Like, we can all work from home now. But it is a double-edged sword. All technology is a double-edged sword. And so all of the bad things that, say, Google and Facebook were already doing was accelerated because of COVID. It was accelerated because the government was not prepared. And look, here's the thing, right? You take like the CDC, like they have like one job. They have one job. One job is to prepare for this moment. And to this day, they're still not entirely prepared. Right? It's changing all the time and all these kinds of, the only thing that's really solid is, guess what? Big tech,
Yep.
right? They're solid. They're dependable. They provide things for us. They entertain us. I mean, look, we're all locked in our apartments. What are we doing? We're watching Netflix. We're watching Amazon. We're literally, all of New York City was kept alive because of Amazon delivery. How else were you going to get anything? You couldn't get anything. Unlike other places where you can get in a car and drive somewhere, we don't have that luxury in certain cities, and definitely not in New York City. So, I think when we started with the Creepy line, we specifically wanted to focus on something that had not been focused on, and that was, can big tech influence an election, right? We knew there were privacy issues. We knew there were some censorship issues, not like today, but there at the time there were here and there. And of course, due to the 2016 election, there had been a lot of cracking down on certain personalities, things you could say, and that's fine. There were plenty of people who were dealing with that. What people were not dealing with was, if Google wants to modify the search engine and not allow a candidate to say something, or allow a candidate to say something, does that shift votes?